viewers, this is Dawn from DawnStippingThoughts.net, and today we're going to make this beautiful birthday card. And birthday cards are very universal any time of the season, and I know it's Christmas time right now, so this is the Christmas version of this birthday card. Let me show you this one. So it opens up like that. Isn't it beautiful? Now, I've seen this card from my friend Lissa on Pinterest, and I fell in love with it. So I first made the birthday version, but then I thought with it being around Christmas season, it might be fun to make a Christmas card. So there's that one. Let me show you the birthday version. This is the one we're going to make today. It's beautiful. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let me give you all the measurements. This has got a lot of layers to it. Okay, so first we're going to need a piece of 12 by 12 cardstock, and I'm using the Whisper White, and this is cut at 5.5 by 11.5. And then you're going to need another piece of Whisper White, and this is cut at 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. So this is going to be for the base of the card. Now we're going to give you all the measurements to the layers. So let's start with the smaller, and then we'll work our way up to the largest layer. Okay, so Night of Navy, these both are cut at 2.5 by 4. You're going to need 2. Then the Whisper White is cut at 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, so then this is the Floral Boutique designer paper that we're using. And these are both cut at 1 3/4 by 2 1/8. And those are going to layer right at the very bottom of the Whisper White, just like that. Okay, so then the next layer, the next size up, we have 2 pieces of the Night of Navy. And these are both cut at 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. Then you have the Whisper White, which is cut at 3 by 4.5. Okay, so now this designer paper, this is the same Floral Boutique designer paper, and it's actually the same side. I'm just flipping it, so it'd be different on both of the layers here. And these are both cut at 2 1/4 by 2 7/8. That's going to layer right at the very bottom. Okay, and then the largest layer right here, the Night of Navy, is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And then the Whisper White is cut at 3 3/4 by 5. And then this designer paper, which is the same as these two, the smaller ones, but we're going to flip it over. And this piece is cut at 2 3/4 by 3 5/8. And that's going to layer right on the bottom of the Whisper White. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab our paper trimmer first and get the base of the card cut and scored. Okay, so we're going to first score. Let me open up my paper trimmer here. Okay, so now we're going to score at 1/4 inch. So I'm going to use this right hand panel first. So the 1/4 inch is right next to that cutting groove. So I'm going to score that first, and then I'm just going to go ahead and turn it. And then you're going to score this at 3 3/4, and then 7 1/4. Okay, so now we're going to take the side that we scored at 1/4 inch. We're going to put this at the top of our trimmer, and we're going to score at 5/8 of an inch, and we're going to score from the top down to the last score line. Okay, so the 5/8 mark is right before the 3/4 inch. So we're going to score it. Hopefully this is showing up. Okay, so we're going to score it all the way down to this last score line. Okay, so hopefully that's showing up on camera. Okay, so now we're going to grab our scissors, and we're going to remove that panel that we just scored at the 5/8 mark. Okay, then we're just going to go ahead and fold the score lines. Okay, so now this panel right here is where this part comes in. Remember, this is the piece that's cut at 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. And we're going to put adhesive along this 1/4 inch score line right here. And then this is going to be adhered to this little tiny strip right here. Okay, so let me move the trimmer and we'll do that. Okay, so I'm going to just use my multi-purpose liquid glue. And I'm just going to put a strip of glue along this edge. And then take your smaller panel and line that up with the score line of that 1/4 inch. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and set this aside to dry, and we're going to do some stamping. Okay, so I went ahead and did some stamping already on 2 of the panels, but I'm going to stamp a couple of them with you. So we're using 2 stamp sets, and the first stamp set is called Birthday Blossoms, and I'm using a lot of the verbiages, actually almost all of them except for the best day ever. And then I'm using the Floral Phrases stamp set, which is a beautiful stamp set, and I love this flower, and it coordinates with the designer paper as well. And then I'm using this border stamp here too in the stamp set. Okay, so I'm going to grab some scrap here just in case I need it. All right, so let's go ahead and stamp. These are the 2 panels that are going to go right here. Well, actually, they're going to go like this on the card. Like that. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp the flower from the Floral Phrases stamp set. And we're going to use the Night of Navy Classic Ink. Grab my scrap. Okay, right about there. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp the larger one as well. So I'm going to stamp that with the flower. To stamp that towards the top because I'm going to put the happy birthday greeting underneath that. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp the happy birthday right underneath this flower, and hopefully I can stamp this straight without putting my head in the camera. Hopefully that's good. Good enough. All right, so then this piece of designer paper, remember this is matching the front 2 layers, but we're just going to flip it over. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this onto this larger section here. You could always add the designer paper first and then stamp, but I find it's always better to stamp and then add your layers to that. Okay, so now we're using the 1/8 silver ribbon, and I'm going to put some adhesive along the edge on the back. I'm going to wrap this ribbon around the front. I think this one's got to come up a little bit on this side. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Now we're just going to adhere this to the Night of Navy piece. So beautiful. All right, so now this piece, I'm going to layer like this. So we're breaking up the flowers there on the inside of the card. So then this layer is going to go on the inside here. So now we're going to go ahead and stamp the front layer. Get my stamps for that. Okay, so we're going to stamp this greeting here, and it's a day all about you, and this is from the Birthday Blossoms. Just going to make sure I'm stamping it right. A day all about you. Okay, so we're going to stamp this right about there. Hopefully that's straight. Then we're going to take the little border. I'm going to stamp this right across the top. Super cute. Then we're going to take the designer paper. With my flowers going the right way up. Layer that on there. I'm going to flip that over, and once again I'm going to add some ribbon. This is also available in the gold. You have gold and silver to choose from in this ribbon. I'm just lining this ribbon up with that designer paper, so it's not such a blunt cut. Kind of blends in really good when you put the ribbon over that edge. Okay, then we're just going to go ahead and layer this onto the Night of Navy. Okay, so then this is going to go on the front of the card. So I think we're all done with the stamps. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and adhere all our pieces. So let me go ahead and do that. So pretty. Okay, so then one more thing, I forgot to do that part. Let me show you here. So where we added to the front of that score line, we're going to trim this section off, that 1/4 inch score line. Okay, so now it should look like that. Okay, so then it's going to close. Now we're going to go ahead and put this onto the front. So cute. All right, now the only thing I'm going to do different on this one is that on my finished one over here, I added the basic pearls, but I'm going to add some basic rhinestones to this one today. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so there's the open part of the card. Then it closes up, and this fits in a regular size envelope too, which is great. All right, so let me show you the Christmas version again. Now this one uses the Cherry Cobbler cardstock and the Very Vanilla 12 by 12, and the Very Vanilla 12 by 12 comes in the neutral 12 by 12 assortment. And the stamp set I used for this one is the Wonder of Christmas. This is in the holiday catalog, and it has all these really nice greetings, so it fit perfectly with the card. And then what I did for the little angel is I stamped it in the black, and then I just kept her kind of plain and just added some dazzling diamonds to her wings, and then I added some Wink Stella to her dress. Really very simple. And then the silver ribbon was added, and then I just added the extra bows to the panels. Cute. Okay, so there's the one with the rhinestones, and then here's the one with the basic pearls. Okay, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you later. Bye.